The year was 2009, and the month was December. We were on the verge of a new decade, Princess and the Frog and Avatar were just about to hit theaters, Owl City's Fireflies was playing on the radio when Mariah Carey wasn't playing, New Super Mario Bros. Wii was the must-have video game of the holiday season, my family just purchased our first Blu-ray player that we still use today with a copy of Night at the Museum Battle of the Smithsonian, but none of that mattered to me. Why? None of them featured Baljeet, that's why. You guys probably already know about Phineas and Ferb. After all, it seems to be up there with High School Musical and That's a Raven as the Disney Channel properties that just refuse to die. Sure, the designs look a little off and the plot seemed repetitive, but it sure made up for that in its writing. There are lines from this show that I still quote with my brother to this very day. Why don't we all just dress up like vegetable samosas? As with most popular television shows, it received a Christmas special. And when Phineas and Ferb Christmas Vacation debuted on December 11th, 2009, the world changed forever. Wars ended, the hungry ate, the destitute could afford a PS5 Pro. This is one of the best Christmas specials ever made, and I say it's time more people saw it for that. So bundle up in a blanket and don't touch that self-destruct button. You're watching the LionDog Show, and I'm watching Phineas and Ferb Christmas Vacation. We kicked this special off with Phineas and Ferb in bed, only for it to zoom out to reveal that the boys converted their beds into sleds, ready to slide down a giant mountain. Has that mountain always been there? Or did Phineas and Ferb really go through the trouble of relocating houses all for one ski jump? They later discuss seizing the day without leaving bed, implying the desire to put less effort in, but this just looks like more work. Just stay in bed until 9 AM watching YouTube videos. That's way less taxing. After a Christmas remix of the show's iconic theme song, we learn that the boys' parents are trapped at the airport while waiting for Ferb's grandparents to arrive, effectively writing them out of the plot, ergo removing the usual Candace subplot of her trying to bust her brothers. While on the phone, Candace explains to her mom how, through a literal game of telephone, she found out that her boyfriend Jeremy got the perfect present for her, potentially making her present for him look bad by comparison. Eventually, Linda gets fed up with her daughter. Wonder why? So she dumps Candace onto her sons by reminding her to bust them for
lollygagging in bed?
Candace then gets her hands on her brother's to-do list, which includes write letters to Santa, and she responds to this in a very tolerant and respectful manner.
Letters to Santa? That's our little kid.
From this, however, Candace gets the idea to trick Jeremy into writing a letter to Santa in order to figure out what to get him.
Or you can ask him directly what he wants to avoid any unnecessary complications.
Yeah, why not do that? Okay, maybe I'm viewing this special through a slightly modern lens where people nowadays are a lot more casual about gift giving and will just tell you what they want, but I'm sure Jeremy wouldn't mind telling her what he wants. If that's too blatant, Candace could have just gone back into her friend group and asked one of them to ask Jeremy what he wanted for her. I get that most of the show's subplots involving Candace's relationship with Jeremy revolve around her blowing minor issues out of proportion, but she's really making this way too hard on herself. At least it gives us one of the greatest running gags in Christmas special history.
Letters to Santa?
Candace's religious intolerance towards Santaism then gives Phineas the idea of what they're going to do today. While this is going on, we get Perry's introduction with him putting together a snowman that comes to life like the Grinch or whatever, who then has a tragic accident off screen. This has nothing to do with Perry entering his secret lair outside of the remains of the snowman potentially possessing Major Monogram.
Wintertime's fun! Follow me!
Instead of his usual briefing, Perry's instead attending the Alka Christmas Party. That's organization without a cool acronym, BT dubs. Okay, I'm not sure who this moose fellow is, but the hats on his antlers are top-tier character design. From the Secret Santa game, Perry is gifted the CD South Tuscany Christmas from Carl, despite how much he denies it. CDs for Christmas? That's for millennials! At this point, Perry gets an alert about Dr. Doofenshmirtz and heads out to fight him, but not without us bearing witness to one of the most obvious jump cuts since the original Hunger Games movie. After this, we see Candace somehow convince Jeremy to write a letter to Santa. This brings us to the first and easily weakest song of the special, What Does He Want? The absolute definition of a filler song. There's this famous saying that I've heard that characters sing when they can't talk about what's on their mind, but Candace was able to talk about her anxiety of not finding the perfect present for Jeremy. I'd forgive it if it were at least memorable, but it just sounds like Please Mr. Postman. What's Christmas about Please Mr. Postman? I'll elaborate more throughout the review, but the rest of the special's songs have a distinct Christmas sound to them. But outside of some of the lyrics, it just doesn't scream Christmas to me, so I'll scream it instead! I can see why this didn't make the initial cut of the special, but I guess Disney needed some way to market the special again for the following Christmas season. Nice to see Jenny though. Once Phineas and Ferb's friends arrive, Phineas shows off their latest project, a clubhouse, a rest stop for Santa Claus. He also fills the others in on his plan to transform the entire city of Danville into a giant thank you card to Santa, which is such a refreshing twist on typical Christmas special storylines. Instead of the plot centering around the main character being motivated by getting the right present from Santa, it's about the characters wanting to get back to Santa. Moving on, we have Perry breaking into Doof, where he becomes a
Partridge on a Perry. The platypus.
With Perry trapped, Doofenshmirtz unveils his latest invention, which he supposedly received from his Uncle Justin in Borneo, the Naughty-inator.
When activated, the naughty nectar in the...
No one asked what the Naughty Nectar is in the comments section below! So, with the machine up and running, why doesn't Doof just fire it already? Well, he just doesn't have the motivation to ruin Christmas, which is saying quite a lot. If you know one thing about Doofenshmirtz, it's that he has a tragic backstory behind almost all of his plots. Yet for Christmas, he's got nothing. It's just one big meh for him, which is such a genius flip of the trope about the villain who hates Christmas that the special even lampshades earlier. To drive home Doof's lukewarm opinions further is the song I Really Don't Hate Christmas, which is a wonderful Christmas villain song up there with the Grinch and the Snow and Heat Miser's songs. It's nearly perfect. It just could have benefited from a kick line.
Oh, what the heck? Kick line! No, I really...
It was perfect. Perfect. Everything down to the last minute. Outside of What Does He Want, which I think is just okay, all of the episode's songs are fantastic. The songwriters for this special apparently hoped their songs would be iconic to the kids watching this special in a similar vein to Rudolph's and the Grinch's songs, and I'd say they succeeded with flying colors. Of course, it's Phineas and Ferb music. The show's music is so good that I'm considering forgiving Jeff Swampy Marsh for writing the International Yokai Watch theme song. We follow up Doof's song with another song, That Christmas Feeling, which is a standard, albeit very catchy feel-good Christmas song that accompanies the town decorating for Christmas. This decorating montage showcases one of the show's biggest plot holes. Why is it that the kid's mom is the only person not to know about anything even when everyone else in town knows about it? I understand that she's currently at the airport, but you'd think that either a neighbor would call and tell her about what her sons are doing, or the news on a TV at the airport would cover it. News outlets can't get enough of covering children-organized programs. In real life, if the only thing of note that Phineas and Ferb ever did was create a clothing line, they'd still be interviewed on Good Morning America. Twice. Candace then heads over to Jeremy's house, but it turns out that he's been too busy being freed of the Christmas consumerist agenda by Phineas to write his letter to Santa. I also love how little Susie looks like she's about to kill Candace. Back to Doofenpuss, Dr. D confesses to wanting to hate Christmas for Christmas, and just then, who to Doofenshmirtz is wondering I should appear but a group of 5 carolers who just refuse to get out of here. The carolers begin to take the figgy pudding part of the carol too literally and push Doof over the edge to fire up the Naughty-inator, which causes the elves at the North Pole to put everyone in Danville on the naughty list, leading to what appears to be every mail carrier in town returning everyone's letters to Santa. These guys work fast. So is Santa real to everyone in this world? Because this is likely in response to the North Pole's reevaluations. But if that's the case, then why is Phineas using obscure evidence to prove Santa's existence? But forget that, Jeremy finally writes his letter, but this doesn't work out either.
I'll just hold on to that for you. Letters of Santa.
Since none of the Discord servers that Candace is currently in have a venting channel, she decides to take her frustrations out on Phineas by pinning Danville's naughtiness on him for his stunts throughout the summer. This leads to the kids throwing a pity party at the mall while Candace and Jeremy get into an argument, all because Candace doesn't open up about her wanting to get him the perfect Christmas present. And no matter how anxious Candace is, now would have been the best time to say that she just wanted to know what he wants for Christmas. But no, she risks damaging their relationship forever. Man, Jeremy is the most patient boyfriend I have ever seen! The kids then express their sadness over possibly ruining Christmas with the song Where Did We Go Wrong? Okay, what I'm about to say might sound a little odd, but outside of being a good low point song, the scene that surrounds it does a great job at capturing the precise melancholy of being at a store as it's closing on Christmas Eve. Something that I've actually experienced on more than one occasion. Also, at the end of the song, the group walk out of the mall without Candace or Buford. Were they just gonna leave them there? It doesn't take long for Phineas to snap out of his gloom as he quickly assembles the town to convince Santa to put them back on the nice list through an homage to classic Christmas charity songs. This captures the attention of 2 of Santa's elves who then travel to Danville to investigate the situation. Going back to the Perry Perry subplot, Doof finally gets the carolers to leave with some likely expired figgy pudding. After this, he comes across Perry's CD, which destroys the invention, putting everyone in Danville back on the nice list. Well, almost everyone. Oh, perfect! Now Santa can visit and Christmas is back on! Sadly, this just isn't possible, because, you see, it's too late now. Santa's not coming to Danville.
It's too late now. Santa's not coming to Danville.
This line is drilled into my brain not only because it was in every commercial for the special, but also because they played the line twice. This was clearly done to accommodate for the commercial break between the two, but on streaming it just feels weird. With no Santa, Phineas and crew team up with the elves by delivering presents in his place. Things get off to a bad start without the town's Christmas lights guiding the way, but Buford then enters his redemption arc to convince everyone to turn their lights back on, and since everyone in Danville believes the local bully without a second thought, the team now have a clear view of the sky, bringing us to probably my favorite song in the special, Christmas is Starting Now. It just nails the Michael Bublé's show tune style, and after the dumps the characters have been in for the past 10 minutes, it is the perfect pick-me-up. With all of the presents delivered, the crew return home to find none other than Santa Claus using the rest stop. How am I just noticing that one of Santa's reindeer is the agent from earlier? It turns out that Santa knew that Danville was nice all along, and even set almost every plot point of the episode in motion to make sure that everyone got what they wanted. It's a real who do you think put that one push pop in the fridge moment. And I thought this December would be different! In the end, Buford gets to be considered nice by his friends, Valjeet gets Riz, Doof gets to hate Christmas, Ferb gets a gosh dang harmonica that makes the front page when there are likely 50 people who died of polio that day, and Phineas, well, I'll let Santa explain.
Dear Santa, all I want for Christmas this year is a chance to be like you. Merry Christmas, Phineas.
On the subject of Candace, Jeremy drops by to give Candace a pair of earrings for Christmas. That is one engagement ring looking pair of earrings. Meanwhile, Candace gifts Jeremy a silver guitar. We also learned that both of them sold an important possession of theirs to afford the present. Very matching guy of them. The special then wraps up with a montage of Christmas morning for the cast, along with a few cameos. And I know I'm not the only one to point this out, but Doof gets Perry a vase. This isn't some random present as in the episode Gaming the System. Major Monogram tells Perry that Doof was getting him one for Christmas. This show was just simply better. I gotta be honest and say that this is close to being a perfect holiday special for me. If I had to be objective, the Candace subplot is a bit frustrating at times. I honestly think that the Gift of the Magi inspired plot point would have made for a better story, and there's some confusion about how Santa works in this world. Outside of that, it's comfort and joy from start to finish. It plays with holiday special tropes in such clever ways. Almost every song is chestnuts roasting on an open fire. A Christmas party that isn't playing the Phineas and Ferb Holiday Favorites album is a Christmas party not worth attending, and I would say it's hilarious, but it's Phineas and Ferb. That goes without saying. It is a merry masterpiece and the only Christmas special that comes even close to rivaling a Charlie Brown Christmas in my eyes. Now, I know what you're thinking. LionDog, aren't you only saying this due to your deeply rooted nostalgia for this special? Yes. Yes, I am. But after reviewing two holiday specials that bumbled the bag with a recent favorite animated franchise of mine, it is so refreshing to see another one of my favorite animated franchises deliver an experience that truly stands the test of time. If this special is somehow not in your holiday rotation, then you should really get your intense burning indifference checked, because this special is definitely on the nice list in my book. And by on the nice list, I mean that I consider a Christmas viewing essential. And by in my book, I mean in my heart. And yeah, we're good. You've been watching the LionDog Show? Have a great Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or whatever holiday you celebrate, and stick around for more next year.